Château de Chillon rises directly from the edge of Lake Geneva, its stone walls reflected in the still blue waters below. Positioned between the lake and the Alps, the castle feels both isolated and commanding, as if guarding the shoreline itself. Unlike hilltop fortresses, Chillon's power comes from its connection to trade routes that once passed through this narrow stretch of land. The calm surface of the lake contrasts sharply with the heavy medieval architecture, creating a haunting sense of balance. As waves gently touch the stone foundations, the castle appears timeless and changed by centuries of history, conflict, and legend. From a distance, Château de Chillon feels less like a building and more like a silent witness, watching over the water with quiet authority. The defensive structure of Château de Chillon reflects the harsh realities of medieval warfare. Its thick stone walls were built to resist attacks from both land and water, making the castle nearly impenetrable. Narrow arrow slits allowed defenders to strike while remaining protected, and towers provided clear views across Lake Geneva. Iron gates and reinforced entrances slowed any advancing enemy. Every section of the fortress was designed with control in mind, ensuring that movement could be monitored and restricted. Unlike decorative castles, Chillon was a working stronghold, built for endurance rather than elegance. Its defenses tell the story of a time when survival depended on stone, strategy, and constant vigilance. Inside Château de Chillon, the great halls reveal how life once unfolded within its walls. Large wooden ceilings stretch above wide stone chambers where nobles, soldiers, and servants gathered. Massive fireplaces provided warmth during harsh winters, while long tables hosted feasts and political discussions. The halls feel heavy with silence now, but once echoed with voices, footsteps, and the sounds of daily medieval life. Light enters cautiously through narrow windows, casting long shadows across the stone floors. These spaces were not built for comfort alone, but for authority and order. The great halls of Château de Chillon reflect a society shaped by hierarchy, duty, and constant awareness of the world beyond its walls. Beneath the elegance of Château de Chillon lie its darkest spaces, the dungeons, carved directly into the rock. These chambers once held prisoners in near-total darkness. Chains embedded in the walls speak of suffering and long confinement. Among the most famous captives was Francois Bonnivard, whose imprisonment inspired Lord Byron's poem, The Prisoner of Chillon. Standing here, the air feels heavier, as if the stone itself remembers the pain endured within. Light barely enters through small openings, offering little sense of time or escape. Legends of restless spirits and lingering echoes surround these rooms, making the dungeons of Château de Chillon the most haunting part of the fortress. Cold stone floors, damp air, and constant silence would have broken even the strongest minds. The private chambers of Château de Chillon offer a glimpse into the lives of nobles who once lived behind its walls. These rooms were modest yet carefully designed, balancing comfort with security. Wooden beds, painted walls, and small fireplaces provided warmth and privacy, while narrow windows offered controlled views of the lake beyond. Unlike grand palaces, these chambers feel restrained, reflecting the uncertainty of medieval life. Even those of high status lived with the awareness of danger and confinement. The quiet atmosphere within these rooms suggests long hours of waiting, reflection, and isolation, revealing that life inside Château de Chillon was shaped as much by fear as by privilege. Heavy doors, thick stone walls, and limited space emphasized protection over luxury. reminding residents that safety came at the cost of freedom. The chapel served as a place of spiritual refuge. Decorated with painted ceilings and faded frescoes, it offered a moment of peace amid conflict and confinement. Light enters gently through small windows, illuminating stone walls that have witnessed countless prayers. The chapel reflects the medieval belief that faith provided strength during uncertain times for prisoners, nobles, and soldiers alike. This space represented hope, forgiveness, and divine protection. The quiet atmosphere remains unchanged, carrying a sense of reverence that contrasts with the darker areas of the castle. The chapel reminds us that even within a fortress of stone and suffering, the human need for faith endured. Here, moments of silence allowed individuals to reflect on guilt, fear, and destiny. From the elevated perspectives of the Château de Chillon, one can truly appreciate its intended strategic significance. Positioned strategically along significant trade routes, the castle effectively allowed its rulers to control movement across the picturesque Lake Geneva. Ships journeying below the castle were clearly visible long before reaching the shore, providing ample time for its defenders to respond effectively. The majestic surrounding Alps further enhanced the sense of isolation and unassailable authority, enclosing the spectacular castle within a natural protective barrier. Standing at these awe-inspiring viewpoints, it becomes readily apparent why Chillon was such an invaluable asset. It effectively controlled access, trade, and the distribution of power within medieval Europe. As the sun sets over Lake Geneva, Château de Chillon takes on a mysterious presence. Golden light fades from its stone walls, replaced by deep shadows and shifting reflections across the water. Legends of imprisoned spirits and forgotten voices seem to linger in the silence. Carried by the evening air, twilight softens the fortress, transforming it from a symbol of control into one of memory and myth. As darkness settles, the castle stands quietly, holding centuries of stories within its walls. The gentle movement of the lake contrasts with the stillness of the stone, blurring the line between past and present. Lights begin to glow faintly within, hinting at lives once lived in secrecy and vigilance. Château de Chillon remains not just a historical monument, but a place where history, legend, and atmosphere enduring long after the day fades into night.